Who run the world, girls? It is the second match of our 2026 Division 2 Championships here in ULTI.TV Christchurch. My name is Blair Monroe.
My name's Rachel Siahani Royal.
And we have on your screens Canterbury Phoenix facing off against Auckland Zodiac in a back-to-back women's opener for this wonderful tournament here. Conditions are nice. We're going to see Black get through with a big block to generate the turn and give Zodiac the disc to kick off this exciting match. Zodiac playing on your screen from the left towards the right at the moment in the light kit. Great undercut there. Oh, up and over the top. Juju can't get a hand to it.
She got very close to that one, though. Nice recognition of having to go up. They did a good job of creating a good amount of space in the middle there on that offensive chance. We have Castro Rios in the middle now. Hamlin looking to move the disc. Hamlin's been a great receiver over the past couple seasons. Just working it down this line. Very close on that catch, but just off the palm almost.
Looks like there's a bit of a call there on the throw from Nahe. So things might go back after the end. It was a nice, well-floated pass. A lot of air underneath it, but it looks like that call may be retracted. Possession is going to stay with Zodiac. So that's Verrill with the disc to kick things off, looking for an early centering reset.
Great mark there by Castro Rios. Excellent mark. She stopped that around when she needed to. She recognized where the player with the disc was looking. Great work. Quick movement. I like to see what she's what movement and space she's creating for Phoenix. Windley with the inside shot. And that's first point on the board for this game. Yeah,
great run by Naylor to try and get a touch on that one, but well secured by the Phoenix side to put it on the board. Del Pachitra with the score.
Castro Rios really creating a lot of the initiating movement there for Phoenix. I imagine we're going to be seeing her a lot this game. She had a tight mark. She was picking up the disc. She was directing her team with her fakes. I think we're going to be seeing, a lot of shape around her. So we see Phoenix looking for a downwind pull at the moment. Castro Rios with the disc. The team chatting on the line. We get the first chance to see what defensive play Phoenix are going to be making. Zodiac signaling readiness. The wind has picked up a little bit since this first game.
I mean, we were talking about it earlier on in the day before our stream started. We were expecting kind of peak wind in the early afternoon. So second game of the day, for it to start blustering like this means that things are going to get a lot worse once we see the open division teams take the field. So still early days though. Zodiac, some really quick fakes, getting some good movement from the defense, keeping things alive, pushing towards the far sideline, aggressive upline cut from Ramia.
And another tight mark from Phoenix, but a great find from his...
Main Davis pulls it in, puts it up high. It's feeling over. Oh, not going to be able to get it. It's going to give the disc back to Phoenix. So that wind is really playing an active role in helping to maintain the defensive pressure for the Phoenix side, generating those turns.
Windley now looking downfield, trying to engage her dump. A late stalled undercut, trying to provide an outlet, but the handlers are instead moving it together. Ooh, and too low off the hands. I like that cut now from Zia. It's a quick, deep cut off that turn. If anyone wants to pick it up, she was going to be available for that.
So Lee to pick things up and initiate for Zodiac here, supported by Ramia on that near sideline. Oh, vertical stack. Not quite an end zone play. Main Davis makes an early cut to undercut towards the far sideline, up and over, but not going to be able to connect.
A lot of air under that disc from Lee. I'm not sure who she was looking for, but she's kind of airing it out to the back of the end zone, giving her team a chance to pick up the disc in case it flies over the intended receiver's head.
Phoenix responding with a vertical stack of their own.
Del Patria absolutely unmarked. I think that cut caught her defender off guard, but unfortunately the throw is just too tough to the break side for the thrower. Lee looking downfield now, not even trying to engage her dump.
Main Davis putting out a low pivot, trying to continue up that far sideline. The Phoenix defense closing off the pressure. The hammer goes up and over, and it's gonna be a score for Tsang for Zodiac to tie the game.
Main Davis, I think, was a little surprised that she pulled that off, but it was an excellent late stall throw. We've seen a couple of hammers in that direction so far this morning, and I think they've been 100% so far.
I think Chen wasn't able to execute in our previous game on one. I think she ended up 50-50 on those great big hammer attempts. So still, I mean, execute, connect, let's make it happen, team. So Zodiac about to send out a defensive line. We've got Chen with the disc for the pull.
I'd like to see Zodiac with a little bit more composure. At that, just before that throw went up, all 7 players were within about 15 meters of each other, so they were really quite close. If you spread out a bit more, you create more space for your cutters to create one-on-one matchups rather than clumping around. When you can create a one-on-one matchup on your own offense, it's always going to be an offensively weighted game. So something to look for later on in this game. Perhaps that's what their coach is telling them from the sideline. But they are on defense now, so something to think about after they get a turn. So we have, Zodiac is currently calling to their sideline, trying to get communication and support from their sideline. The pull is going up now.
Stays
low pull, but it has good distance.
Yeah, nice legs on that one. It's going to get it right to about the brick mark. Phoenix hit an early recenter. Some good continuation movement. We're seeing a zone defense. Zodiac are here to play. Giorgio at the arrowhead there, really applying the pressure early, but it's not enough to stop some Phoenix getting some movement, connecting on an upline. Great work there to find McIntosh. Back and around, finds Castleton. Continues through, what a take.
Some really confident grabs by McIntosh there.
Oh, and Lim puts up the big shot, but it peels over a little bit early.
It was just fading in the wind there a little bit. It was a tough shoulder to catch it over for the receiver.
Van Can not going to be able to get away with it on that one.
McIntosh, though, a strong defensive player too, right in front of the disc. She's going to be looking. She's got good awareness of both her player and the disc. Looking to set up that long shot, and up it goes. McIntosh has that covered. That throw perhaps going up a little too quickly.
Oh, can't connect. on the next one. Just comes in that front edge, dips a little low early, pushes it to turf. We've got Bartle with the disc to kick things off for Zodiac, re-engaging the center field. Big wide reset. Oh!
Almost a second go off the Phoenix player, off Castleton, but the wind catching that too.
Pollock with the disc.
To McIntosh. She's been key against this zone. There's a call being made on the field, an injury call. I think the Phoenix team a little too caught up in playing offense to realize, so we're going to go back quite a few throws. Unfortunately, it seems that Weil has injured herself and is going to be subbing off. She's walking off, which is always a good sign. And we're going to be going back to when that call was made. Ramia instead coming on for Zodiac.
It's just a little bit of communication before play reinitiates.
The wind doesn't help either when it comes to hearing a call, especially if it was made in the upwind direction of you.
McIntosh goes around.
Good break around the mark.
Finds Castleton, the zone, pushing towards the far sideline. Uncorks, lets it rip. Oh, Chen with the hang time.
No chance above Chen there. And now looks for the under.
In power position, a little bit of lean back, puts the huck up, finds Jeroen, takes to the knees. Ramia on the continuation cut is an option, pushing wide, it's curving back. Oh, just out of touch.
Which gives Phoenix back the disc. I like that longer shot from Chen earlier. She realized that it was going to be cut off by a defended player, so took a second and instead took the second option, and it worked. But instead, Phoenix is getting a chance once again against this zone. Ooh, and a short turnover there. Jeroen opting to not pick up the disc.
Bartle winding up.
A completely open swing.
Not quite able to be jumped in by Heswell. Pushes for Ramia, curving back. Who's there? What a take!
Zodiac able to use that break side really well. So swinging the disc, creating space on that upwind break side of the end zone, and then using that to score. A great chase down of the disc. It looked like it was almost out the back, but the receiver not giving up.
Ashling Naylor puts on the afterburners to finish that one off. We see it here again. Heswell with the quick recenter, goes back to Bartle, puts the big backhand up looking for Ramia, but as the disc peels a little high, it's Naylor there on cleanup duty.
There were a couple of Zodiac receivers that could have taken that, so good job by them to using that space. I'd love to see Phoenix getting onto the mark faster when you're that close to the end zone, kind of anticipating that the swing is going to go up. So we now have the score 4-0. Oh, no, sorry, 4-1. We just can't quite see the scoreboard from where we're sitting, but Phoenix have a bit of work to do if they want to get back into this game. Lucas Tay, the Phoenix coach, is on the line chatting to his players, who are now going to be coming on offense. We have Zodiac ready to run down on defense. Wonder if we're going to see a zone from them in this direction.
So the wind as it is blustering up, just a little bit of, I guess you folks at home probably can't feel it. We definitely can in the commentary booth. It's blowing from the far side of the screen towards the near side and with a little bit of left to right direction. So it'll be interesting to see how Zodiac utilize that to give themselves the best opportunity to generate another break here. Verrill puts it up. It's going to touch down with a lot of floated around the halfway mark, a little bit into the Zodiac offensive half. McIntosh, to the surprise of no one's going to be the one to pick up and initiate an early touch, and there's going to be no call. Zodiac are going to get possession off an early turn.
That's some good quick decision making on whether to make a call there or not. Verrill completely unmarked and
puts the big shot up. It's peeling. What a take. by Ling, just outside of the end zone. Is there a window for her? Goes back, finds an open Lee.
Great patience by Ling not to be rushed there. And the defense by Phoenix is tenacious there. Excellent job by number 16.
Van Can getting involved.
We have a zone being set up by Zodiac here.
Headed by Black.
Lim on the disc. A cut right into that cup space.
Great work by Pullock to start things off and open them up. Trying to hit an up line. Pressure through on the defense. Looks like that's going to be a clean turn.
We have Verrill to pick up the disc, and Zodiac doing a good job of creating space in front of her. Lee doing excellent work to get free.
Great
Lee,
reset.
A very experienced player. Oh, and a great shot, but just a little fumble. You know, those kinds of throws you're going to be happy with. You know, it was a shot that could have been received for a point. McIntosh looking to swing.
Putting it away. Ling runs through. What a take.
And that is a Callahan for Zodiac.
Oh, that's going to get Zodiac absolutely fired up. That great defensive pressure right in the moment. Managing to get a score off a Phoenix throw. What a big deal for them. They'll be absolutely dining out on that one.
Yeah, that direction, that throw that McIntosh is putting up now, it floats in the wind there, and unfortunately, just Castleton not able to beat the Zodiac player to the disc. Excellent job by the Zodiac player. I haven't caught their number yet. Yeah, you have to be very intentional with that swing.
So Ling with the Callahan there.
Those are some excellent stats for Ling. It's tough to come back on the field after a Callahan, but you know, it's also a test of your mental resilience as well. McIntosh has been a strong player against the zone. She's had some amazing grabs, so it's good to see that she's playing upfield and downfield. Hopefully that she will be able to put it out of her mind and continue on the rest of the game and focus on the rest of the game. So we have another offensive opportunity for Phoenix. Pull is going up now by Heswell.
Good amount of length on that one, touching down at around sort of 20 meters infield. There's some quick early passes, largely uncontested at the moment. Windley with the disc now.
Another zone. Phoenix happy with those little throws. So far they've been using that cup hasn't been stopping those 2-3 meter throws. Nice there by Nahe.
Castro Rios with the disc now, supported by Windley as the reset. Manages to get that one away. Working back through the zone. Oh, I believe there may have been contact on that with a little bit of drag. For it to fall out the back of Castro Rios' hand like that. So that's going to be an accepted foul. Disc is going to return to Phoenix. Goes to Windley. Back through the zone, working hard. Castro Rios puts the big shot up to a wide open Hamlin.
And excellent pressure there by Chen. That is a good example of why, even if you don't think you're going to get there, even your presence on defense can sometimes get the job done. I did like that shot from Castro Rios, though. She's playing with some real confidence, and I hope that pays off for her over the course of the tournament. It is definitely fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. We're seeing her work a lot of small ball, but not afraid to put up those bigger shots. In the immortal words of Mos Def, you can get it from a big or small barrel.
Ooh, and just a low shot there.
Little bit bladey, means it turns over early. It's going to be a hard take on the best of days. Considering we're on the low side of the field as well, the wind is pushing towards that near sideline. It's just going to make that extra challenge. Castro Rios to pick up and initiate again against that zone. Oh, what a find.
The ground finds the ground, unfortunately.
Good vision, good vision. Just no player underneath that execution-wise.
Maybe warm that throw up in before the game rather than during.
Oh.
This wind really coming into play.
Absolutely.
Early, quick start, and a long shot by Castro Rios.
With enough float to be reeled in. That's going to be Blundell. Puts it through, puts it away. What a finish.
excellent like really good chasing the disc down, not giving up on that shot by Blundell. And then throws it to Del Pachitra. Apologies, Nav. So that quick pickup of the disc on a turn by Castro Rios was paid off this point. Previous times it's been picked up quickly, it hasn't quite worked out, so hopefully that means that they're tuning these throws. It's really impressive seeing that throw go up when you realize she had like a wall of 4 or 5 white players in front of her, and she still...
Don't bring race into this.
And she was still able to recognize that there was a receiver open that she could get it to.
Great defensive pressure by Zodiac, but not enough to shut down the absolute dynamo that is Castro Rios, who's doing some great work in the handler space for the Phoenix side.
We see Castro Rios going on again with the pull now. We see a bit of a roll.
A two-way player is what Phoenix needs on this one. 4 back in the handler space. We've got Verrill there, supported by Lee and Main Davis on the near sideline. Oh, not able to connect on that first undercut despite some great spacing in the downfield.
We hear a zone being called by Zodiac. Sideline is calling set, indicating they want to play a zone. A little bit of a floaty shot, but it's brought in. Blundell again to receive. Second time a longer shot's come and been received by Blundell. Same
Del
score.
Pachitra again, putting it away.
That is the same trio even.
Honestly, hey, that's what you want. Sat-nav always going to pick the right route.
Let's see if they can get a hat trick of that combination. But no, that must be a good feeling. That is the first break for Phoenix.
Castro Rios doing some great job playing with the wind to get some longer shots that open up those quick, shorter continuations that we're seeing Phoenix use so effectively to close out these points.
Yeah, Zodiac recognizing that those longer shots in these conditions aren't as likely to come off. They're front-loading their zone, and Castro Rios just doing a great job of saying, I do have those shots. If you're going to put all the players around me, then that means that someone else is open downfield. I'm going to throw it to them. And it's, yeah, it's paying off. I believe it's a timeout called.
A pretty reasonable thing to do. Couple of back-to-back Phoenix scores means Zodiac are on the back foot. They need to figure out what adjustments they might need to make to stem the flow. Phoenix rising from the ashes in the early stages of the match from a little bit of a deficit, but having managed to really pour the pressure onto Zodiac, putting some fuel on the fire in these last couple of possessions to take the lead again. So Zodiac with a couple of the coach in there taking a knee, talking some deep strategy. Phoenix on the other side, on the other hand, probably maybe a little bit more relaxed in a really strong position to get things going. So really all they need to do is maintain that level of momentum that they've been working so hard to build. Zodiac, maybe just a few nuts and bolts that need tightening in this timeout.
Zodiac have been doing a really good job of maintaining their structure. They're obviously well drilled about what they want to do on offense. It has been creating initial cuts and initial throws from when they are picking the disc from stationary position. So trying to string that initial look at offense into successful flow, I think is what they might be working on now. But obviously they are enjoying playing in a more structured way, and it has been working for them. So we have Castleton coming in with an upwind pull now. Lots of information being communicated to the Zodiac line by their coach on the sideline.
We see the hand go up. Zodiac respond, they're ready. It's gonna roll. A little bit of a slow roll, touching down around the halfway. Ramia there with Bartle. 4 back, supported by Chen and Black as well.
Ramya looking for that disc. Ooh, great backup by Bartle. Happy to work together. Chen now looking downfield.
So seeing that Zodiac, that Phoenix zone rather. 4 handlers back from Zodiac doing a good job of picking it apart. Black looking to finish. Oh, McIntosh in the downfield says no.
Oh, and Calthus not be able to hang on to that. Perhaps wanting to slow down that offensive play on a turn, but because they've given it back to Zodiac now on the end zone line.
A vertical stack. Bartle wanting to put a high release up.
And
Great.
nice defense by Lim.
Yeah, no contact either. It was just solid box pressure, which is great to see Phoenix's awareness on that one. Castleton kicking things off again, firing back, marked by Black, looking like a match defense from Zodiac here.
Nice break throw, but a little bit tough grab for Phoenix.
Chen, first foot down in the end zone is going to be a score to keep it back to a 3-3.
Great focus by Chen to take that under pressure as well.
Absolutely. It's a tough thing as well. When you're right on the end zone, all of the focus is on the cutters who are starting from inside the end zone. Quite often the front corner of the end zone, regardless of which side we're looking at, it's the most vulnerable spot here. But you can see just how close we were to just the front of the end zone. Good defensive awareness by Phoenix coming in to try and close that down, but that half second too late. Chen pulls down the score and ties the game. So, a Zodiac line going to come out on defense. Phoenix, a little bit of last-minute strategy. Coach on the right-hand side of the screen there taking a knee, making sure everyone's dialed in, ready to go. The wind is going to be at Phoenix's back this time. It's going to add probably another few meters on every throw, so just something they'll need to be mindful of if they try and really stretch the field into that deep space. Zodiac as well, similarly recognizing that those long throws are going to be a little bit harder to take away, and we'll see whether or not there's their defensive structure changes at all to reflect that.
We have the pull going up now from Zodiac.
Here's Wall puts it.
Nice height, and it stays in the field. Lim now picking up the disc. Another zone by Zodiac. Ooh, and a very assertive D there.
By Sia. And it's going to be Viral to pick up. Phoenix looking to prioritize a match defense here. Viral, big pivots, hoping to open something up. Hits a nice upline. Naylor has the disc now, continues through, finds Georgiou, gets an overbite out of the mark, puts a big shot up. Can we see some bookends? Yes, we can on both sides of that position. Number 82. That is Isabella Zia for the block and the score for Zodiac to take the lead.
Going to work that point for her team. And that was a nice put by Georgiou as well to have it fade, have it around the defensive player and just fade into where the position that, that Zia was taking up instead. We get to see the D again. Also would have been an opportunity for Zia to grab the disc rather than D it, but pretty secure D regardless. And we get to see this long shot now. Received, or longest shot, received under by Georgiou, who then floats it around the defensive player. Yeah. And good read there to finish the point.
Yeah, great hunger by the Phoenix defense there to really try and get aggressive and get close on the defense, but that slight overcommitment opens up a nice channel for Georgiou to put out a beautiful backhand float for a great score. So we're going to get a bit of an update on your scoreboard on screen, folks, but it looks like we are currently 2 up. Zodiac is actually 5 over Phoenix's 3. Coming out on defense now. Nice pull with a bit of touch and roll. We've got Castro Rios again for Phoenix and a horizontal stack. Picking up, getting things moving. Can't connect with Windley on the second shot. Zodiac have a shot here. Main Davis with a hand up, calling to set the front of stack. Ramia in the upfield.
Sometimes when you're on offense and you're not getting enough, you're not getting a great break throw, but
the clap, just that fraction of a second too early. It bounces off the fingertips. Necessary opportunity for Phoenix here. Windley to pick up. Match defense
have
from
a travel called here. Similar to our previous game, I believe Windley set up a pivot in the end zone before walking it up, so Zodiac calling a travel, and it's going to be going back. But on offense, sometimes if you can't quite catch momentum, it can be really difficult to adjust. If you keep turning it on the first throw, then you never really get a chance to get into the game and adjust your throws for the wind. So McDonald now getting a second chance to adjust. Nahe moving through the middle. Castro Rios, unfortunately, not able to find her receiver in Blundell. Castro Rios and Blundell have had great connections so far. Heaps of space downfield for Zodiac.
Ramia to Juju, yes.
Juju looking into the end zone.
Puts it low, refines the centering pass. Ramia gets some good fakes to try and open up a middle channel. Main Davis is the reset early, over with the blade. That is going to be Aishi Tang with the score. Zodiac go to 6.
Great structure there at the very on the end zone line there from Zodiac, so showing that they're structured in their play when they're just throwing in a horizontal, and they're also when they're throwing an end zone play as well. Well drilled by their team. We get to see that shot, that grab again. Hard to stop that that shape of the throw when you're on defense.
Had a really high outside edge, so it was quite a sharp angled throw, but really well found, really well connected. Zodiac with a nice lead in the early stages of the match, 1 point away from half.
It looks like Zodiac has multiple coaches. Maybe that's the trick. The more coaches you have.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which, to be fair, is the only profession in which that works. You know, cooks spoil the broth, so I hear. But more coaches makes a great soup. Good soup.
Although we are now seeing, I think it's another voice on the sideline for Phoenix, Taylor, who is our TD for today. Also talking to the oh no, who's that? Oh, Leishman, sorry, take that back. Leishman's been talking to the team too, so multiple coaches for both teams. So big pull by Verrill, making to just past halfway.
Zodiac not super aggressive on the chase, so the first couple passes get away, but maybe that's what Zodiac wanted. Falls out of the hands of Windley in their offensive half. Zodiac to take possession. It's going to be Verrill and Lee as part of that handler core. I believe they're supported by Black and Naylor, as those 4 handler sets that they've been using quite effectively are working through. One early pass to get things away finds Westerland alone in the midfield. Cuts, swirling, goes back towards Verrill. Black cycling back around through the handle space. Closed off by the defense, hits the inside break.
Confident break there.
You love to see it. And we're going to see a call in the downfield, a pick.
So that was another first throw turn by Phoenix, which unfortunately they have been experiencing quite a bit, but they have been able to get it back too. So Zodiac using a bit of momentum off that quick turn. Bit of conversation about where the players should be. It seems the pick is accepted, so Blundell's catching up. Disc is now in. A backhand force by Phoenix. And a little flip. Nice quick throw into the end zone there by Zia. Yeah, using that pivot to reach that inside space to score.
Yeah. And so that is going to be a Zodiac half. Nice and early. Strong start from the Auckland side to put this one away. So that's 2 really stunning performances by Auckland teams in the opening stages of our 2026 championship here. But we'll see how these things continue to unfold. Phoenix definitely not out of it yet. Some really, really good connections here.
And Phoenix showing that once they have a bit of momentum, they're really using that to fuel their team. So hopefully they can get that back in the second half.
Absolutely. I want to see it. And they're gonna be out here to put a show on for us in just a moment. We've got a nice little highlight package for you. So keep your eyes on the screen. Keep your ears peeled, folks. You are going to be back with us very, very soon. But until then, my name is Blair Munro.
My name's Rachel Siohani Royal.
From the team here at ULTI.TV. Please stay tuned to keep watching. And if you like what you see, head on over to patreon.com/ULTI.TV. Give us your spare change. Help us keep bringing you the best sport in the world to your screens. All right, folks, we are back for the exciting second half of the second match of the first day of the second division of the 2026 Ultimate Championships here in ULTI.TV, Christchurch, Hagley Park North, Bob Deans Fields. If you're in the area and you're not here, what are you doing? Come on down, experience it in real time. We have Phoenix, our local heroines, I should say, facing off against Auckland Zodiac, currently down by 4. Zodiac having taken an early lead with a few really solid breaks in the early half of the game. But as we said before we took that half point, we've seen Phoenix put together some really good flow. It's going to be able to see, it's going to be good to see if they're able to build some momentum from that in the second half and tighten up the game. My name is Blair Munro.
My name's Rachel Honey Royal.
And what a pleasure it is to be here, to be your eyes and ears on the ground, to provide context and commentary for this, the very best sport in the world. And if you like what you see and you want to help us bring it to you, head on over to patreon.com/ULTI.TV. Give us your spare change. We know you're not using it. Although times are hard. And while there is a gas shortage globally, there's definitely not a gas shortage on this field. These teams are firing and ready to go. We are about to see a Zodiac offensive side take the line. Hand is up from Castro Rios for the Phoenix. Big pull. Puts it up with a lot of float. It's going to touch over early with a bit of roll.
And hopefully roll towards that low side. Nice. Oh, great pull. Good bounce and making the Zodiac team move it early.
We are seeing a Zodiac Phoenix zone as well, which is great to see. McIntosh on that near sideline. The wide shot goes up. Rami is able to recover it. Goes back to Bartle, supported by Vero on the near sideline. Trying to not let the disc go towards the low side. It's high with a touch.
A double touch on defense there. Excellent job.
Oh,
and too quick to try and continue down the field. So Phoenix is turning it and now is throwing their zone again, trying to do the same thing. That zone was forcing a quick break side throw, which was caught by the wind. So we'll see if they can achieve that again with the zone. Throwing it, a low throw picked up by Vero. Again, up to the high side there. Advantageous side when it comes to the wind. Some really intentional faking there by Vero. Getting the disc back. She's every other throw at the moment.
Oh, Chen not able to get that one in hand. Would have been nice to see that Zodiac sequence, but Phoenix with a shot to go back the other way. It's Castleton. Big rip. Early touch and roll. A little bit of frustration from the downfield Phoenix teammates. Some good territory though. Bartle in the coffin corner on that right front cone. Right in the end zone. So a Phoenix opportunity, they can pour on a lot of pressure here if they want to put this one away. Vero with a great upline cut, just trying to give him a couple yards at a time. Nice floaty. Chen, two-hand take. Big rip, putting it up. It's going to peel down towards that sideline, fading away. Oh, and it's going to give the disc back to the Phoenix side at pretty close to where it left the field in the first instance.
I like those choices by Chen. You want to, when you're up that many points, you want to be kind of training those longer throws, and it was pretty close. She had a receiver in Westerland. Now, unfortunately, Castro Rios throwing a long shot from the sideline. It never came back in, so the disc is going to go and be walked down to the left side of the field, quite a ways from where it was thrown, basically. Vero walking it in. Match is being called by Phoenix.
Now, we've seen some great work from Vero in this game already. Some really sneaky inside break throws, doing a great amount of work in the handler space. So she's definitely within her range here at the moment to reach into the bag and pull down a score to open up the second half. We are about to see what happens, though. Zodiac getting some initiating cuts going. Nice separation. That is going to be Westerland with the score. But it looks like there is a pick called in the downfield instead.
Not the most surprising call to happen. They were a little clumpy, Zodiac in the middle of that end zone. So we'll see what the resolution seems like. It is going to go back. We're looking for the player to catch up to the offensive player, but instead they're... And a little bit of a quick initiation by Ramia. Some laughs on the field. Everyone's going back to where they were. And disc is now in. And the similar throw is thrown.
Putting it away. Except it's Bartle this time, leaving the handler space to make that great cut, stretching out, getting it on both sides of the disc, and that is going to be Zodiac's 8 over Phoenix's 3.
That was a good defensive positioning by the Phoenix player. Unfortunately, it was just not enough. Sometimes you hope that even just being in the right position is enough confusion for the receiver, but great focus by the receiver instead. We get to see that again. Oh, that's got to have been so close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure if nothing else, we could check that disc for fingerprints and we get a positive hit.
quick movement off the turns hasn't been working well for Phoenix, so maybe they need to slow it down instead of having the person closest to the disc pick it up, wait for someone else to walk over and pick it up instead, see if that works better for them.
Yeah, it's a tough thing as well because you need the whole team to be on board for that. I think regardless of whether you're trying for a fast break, which Phoenix are going for a lot at the moment, or if you're trying to take things a little bit more patient, everyone needs to be on the same page about that. A fast break only works if once the disc is picked up, you've already had someone who's been cutting for a couple seconds into the deep space. Similarly, if you're looking to take that patience, you need those cuts to develop very sort of patiently, as opposed to having 2-3 cuts starting before the players even picked up the disc if they're anticipating a sort of a patient cut or an early reset. So just making sure everyone's on the same page, figuring out where, I guess, that decision-making is coming from, and making sure that that person is making sure that their voice is heard on the field might be the key to keep Phoenix in this game. Bartle for defense with the pull.
We've seen a couple rolling pulls from Zodiac.
Oh, that's good. Beautiful work. It's going to pin them down on that low sideline. So Zodiac doing some great work here, setting themselves up for success on defense, but it's McIntosh with the disc, and we know what she's capable of.
We see a couple of players within 3 meters on that zone, and Calvin not able to grab that, so we have a turn on the swing. But yes, that Zodiac zone was pretty close around the disc. They'll want to watch out for that. And a swing to an open, completely open player. Nice adjustment there by the Phoenix player.
Bartle was pushing for black, but I think there was a little bit of a stutter step in the downfield.
And that wind just pushing the disc down too quickly as well.
Castleton to pick up.
Ooh, and great take by the Phoenix player to McIntosh. McIntosh, no stranger to the end zone.
Using the depth of the lunge to try and create openings. Yeah. Still managing to work the disc back towards, but Hesswell with the intercept. They were doing a good job of working towards the high side to give themselves the best opportunity to open up the field's length.
Great D by Hamlin, but not quite enough.
Bartle with the hat knocked off, disc in hand, puts it up, pushing for the low side. What a pull down by
Zia there for the score. Not a very similar to shape to throw that turned just previously by Bartle, but this time it was able to find a receiver.
So Zodiac up by 6. A little bit of deja vu if you've already been following our coverage this morning. I think the previous game did the same thing. We had a similar scoreline differential at half, and then the team who was ahead continued to pull ahead with a couple of early breaks, which is really, really great to see. That defensive pressure not easing up despite a lead. So well done by both these teams to continue fighting. I do want to see just that like Phoenix is 96% of the way there. You know, that extra 4%, things gelling together.
Yeah, I feel like a focus until the disc is all the way out of your hand or all the way into your hands for the catch. I think these conditions are just not favorable for the Phoenix team. Just a bit more intention with their throws, I think, would go a long way. And also, they're just showing the underside of the disc to the wind, so they're throwing in a way which is not considering the wind enough. So if they can keep that in mind and have that focus increased, that'll be beneficial to them. But that is also an experience thing. There are some more experienced players and then some more developmental players on the Phoenix team. So just trying to make sure that everyone is on the same page. We have Lee with the disc and the pull on Zodiac, on the Zodiac D line. Nice safe pull, landing about halfway. Phoenix this time hustling down to get onto offense. We see a zone, a kind of arrowhead zone from Zodiac, which leaves 2 handlers open for Phoenix. And they use those handlers. We see Hamlin on the sideline, good pivots. Hamlin is great at receiving the disc and then going back to work and then throwing it to handlers, put a lot of hard work in. Nice grab from Castros Rios.
Goes through to Blundell.
Really shallow. There's only the furthest player was
Delpachitra, yeah, in the deep space.
Only about 15 meters away, so potentially trying to make a bit elongating the field on offense for Phoenix would be good for them.
So it's Lee, Ramya, and Main Davis in the handle set for the Zodiac side. In a horizontal stack, Chen as that first cut, despite a peeling off poach defense attempt. A little bit too bladey on that throw, but it's got a good amount of roll, so they're going to benefit from some territory there, if nothing else.
Chen saw two players cutting deep and just couldn't help herself, I guess.
McDonald goes through to, tries to get through to Windley, but it's Main Davis with a touch. Zodiac hoping to go for double digits, only about 10 meters or so away from the end zone at this point.
They have scored off this kind of distance off the initial throw here a couple times already, so whatever they've been doing on offense in this setup has been working. Let's see if they can do it again. Lee to pick up the disc, backhand force, and it is put up. Excellent take. Manages to maintain possession through hitting the ground. That's
Yit for the score. What a pull down. Takes a bit of a tumble to do so, but it's worth it as Zodiac widen their lead to 7 points over Phoenix's 3.
And we have a timeout called by Phoenix.
Which is a reasonable thing, and we've seen Zodiac go 3 on the bounce to open up the half. So despite great defensive pressure and some really close positioning from Phoenix, which in slightly other conditions might tip the scales in their favor, Zodiac appear to be having a bit of a walkaway with the opening stages of the second half. So a reasonable time to call a timeout, figure out if there's any little adjustments that can be made to maybe keep Phoenix in the game in a way that their drive and their commitment has brought them here. They clearly want it. Just little tiny tweaks.
Phoenix probably talking about what to do against this zone. If Zodiac is going to throw the same zone, there are plenty of options to handlers upfield of the disc. So trying to figure out how using those swings to handlers then opens up space downfield as well. I'd like to see a bit more patience with Phoenix. But yes, how to play against the zone is probably what they're talking about now, as they're going to be coming out on offense again. But lots of laughs in the Zodiac circle at the moment. I wonder if Zodiac are going to use this opportunity to try out other defensive plays that they might want to use during the rest of this tournament.
Yeah, especially when we're considering, a lot of defensive structures are reliant on communication. And using a game where you have a bit of a lead as a kind of an opportunity to cut your teeth. Hey, what if we try a 2-3-2? What if we try a cup rather than an arrowhead? Let's do something that requires a little bit more synergy and chemistry that we've spent all season building up, but that we maybe haven't put to the test in a meaningful way yet. Now is a great opportunity on tournament day to go ahead and pull the ripcord on that one. But we'll see how things unfold after the timeout.
A bit of a long timeout. So Zodiac now within a couple of points of finishing this game out, since we are playing to 13 points as our points cap. And we have Zodiac on the line now with the pull. They are going downwind. Verrill looking to pull. She's been behind a lot of the pulls this game.
She's done some fantastic work throughout this game. It's really, really good to see.
There have been a lot of bladey pulls, though, so,
Which again, I think is largely a function of recognizing the conditions and seeing what can be done to maximize the defense's opportunities to generate a turn and score a break. Considering how blustery the wind is, the longer the disc is in the air, the more chance you actually have to maybe sort of lose a good bit of position. But some really solid roller pulls or, a little touchdown. It's good to see. Sets them up really, really well. Not too far from the brick mark, pushing towards the high side. It's Castro Rios again. That zone defense from Zodiac, working with Blundell, trying to get around it.
Phoenix have been trying the same thing again and again against this zone, so they're focusing so much on the space in front of them. I think they're almost expecting. They're finding space in the middle, but if you swing a little further, their one swing hasn't been working as well. I'd like to see a second swing, although this point has been a lot more effective than previous points have been.
Delpachitra doing the absolute most to work the field open. It's a little high. Castro Rios manages to pull that one down.
Great focus on the disc by her and good read to get her hands on the disc. Getting up quickly as well. She's just been instrumental to the Phoenix side.
McIntosh finishes it off. A static receiver in the end zone. Zodiac's defense will be a little bit salty about that, I think. But really well scored by Phoenix. Great patience, but just again, a huge shout out to Nev Delpachitra, who was just doing so much work in that midfield space. I personally, I love, sort of like small, focused, compact ultimate. Works really effectively against the zone. I love to see it. Running a kind of a dominator sequence where the same player's getting every touch or every other touch on the disc. And number 35 for Phoenix was just doing so much work there to eat up the entirety of the field and only a handful of bites and get them in a really, really good scoring position where they were able to put that one away for their first score of the half.
It's good to see that their timeout call was successful in having a chat about what to do on offense. So now they get to pull a defensive look off on the line and see if they can get a turn. This is a good direction for them. It's hypothetically the easier direction to score. So this could be a chance for a break for Phoenix, trying to make this scoreline closer, tire out Zodiac a little more, make Zodiac work for it.
Absolutely, but we are only 75 minutes total on the clock. We're coming up to minute 58 now. So even if their strategy is to cause that Zodiac defense to tire out and open up some avenues for them to capitalize on, they're running out of time to make up the point deficit that they're working from. It's not impossible, but it's not going to be easy. Black to pick up for Zodiac, goes to Ramia early. Back to Lee. Juju available as the near side, but uses Chen in the midfield. Oh, and it's off the fingertips. Good pressure there from Blundell. Looks to quickly initiate.
Good adjustment by McDonald there. Back to Blundell. Two players who have played on the Exiles team, club team for many years.
Tessa Allen getting involved, goes back to Castro Rios. Oh, the big fake. I got sold on that one.
Really precise throws from Castro Rios.
Again, working the high side, so the wind's helping them a little bit there, although it's harder to keep the disc there. Allen getting involved. That same zone, trying to force them to work back towards the midfield. Blundell puts it up. It's got a lot of float underneath it. Ramia underneath is going to say no. It's going to go Zodiac's possession.
Great positioning by Ramia there. Had the first look at the disc and was able to read it correctly and time her jump and got the D as a result. We have Lee to pick up the disc, a veteran player who's been really using both sides of the field, break and open side, well this game.
Big crossfield shot. Oh, good. One could go so far as to say flawless defensive positioning by Hamlin there.
All right, Blundell with a short field. She has Castro Rios on the swing, but not needed. Two receivers for Phoenix, and luckily they managed to not D each other on that score.
So that's Van Can to put it on. Phoenix with a back-to-back, their first in a while. So that same momentum we've talked about, how good they're going to be once they start to string those together and build up that flow. We're seeing it happen here, folks. Is this going to be the comeback train? Can it get a choo-choo?
Yeah, can they maintain the momentum? Because this is what they did in the first half. They scored, got a break, but then weren't able to score again for the rest of the half. So they've got to make sure that whatever they've managed to do successfully, they're now able to apply again in the upwind direction nonetheless.
Yeah.
But Castro Rios is still on the line, has been really instrumental in moving the team. She's
little bit more aggression on the Phoenix chase might have swung the thing for them. Intercept by Van Can, though. That's going to do it.
Van Can is looking for a scuba almost, I thought, for a second there. Sees her dump.
Castro Rios up and around. Is that bookends for Van Can? I think it is.
And that was an excellent recognition of back to my handler and then straight back to the receiver. So it was Van Can to get the D to Castro Rios and then straight back to Van Can again.
Yes, Van Can. Phoenix back within 5. It is 7-12. I think we've seen another timeout call. Except this time it's Zodiac calling the timeout.
I'd also chalk that break up a lot to the pull.
Yeah. Huge work by Castro Rios to just push the territory. Look at that, wide open.
Beautiful pivot. I mean, she makes it look easy.
Defender, I hardly know her. The scuba fake was there. Oh, you love to see it. But again, the stall count getting high, looks back, finds Castro Rios and immediately pushes into the deep space.
Yeah,
and
catching the Zodiac defender on their heels. Great work by Van Can to give and go with her handler. I was worried for a second she wasn't going to turn around in time and she was going to be too focused on the end zone, but she proved.
Really good sequence there by Phoenix. That's probably the best point I think I've seen them play. Just so precise, so consistent. The defensive pressure was really there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they've put a number of points on the board and they have been impressed, but that was just a really tight, compact, very efficient defensive sequence there and a really quick turnaround to put the score on the board. So
yeah, recognizing that if they apply their defense like really hard early on when they're down this low end of the field, that it could be that a short turn is going to be really advantageous to them. So I thought that intense defense down here was the right move.
Yeah, if you've got to watch any defensive point today so far, folks, make it that one. That was nice.
And we hear the soft cap go here, which means we will finish this point and play to 13 still in this case. But it does mean that we have reached 75 minutes. So we've had as much game as you can possibly get out of 75 minutes, I feel.
Yeah.
Teams are looking at a lunch break following this, so they're going to want to make sure that they get everything that they can from this game. And for Phoenix, they've got quite a few points to make up, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, hey, with a slightly longer break, it's not like they have to rush to their next game. So if they want to pour a little bit more on this one, now's the time to do it.
Sometimes I feel like you have to just look away from the scoreboard, though, as well.
Oh, yeah. Everything's a game to one.
Yes.
Everything is a game to one.
Yeah, absolutely. And this kind of point in the game, the sideline, it just becomes instrumental too. If you want that information you want the information from the sideline from someone who has a better point of view than you do. And what would you know? We have a pull from Castro Rios.
So the wind's settling down as well. So Bartle goes to Ramia early. Main Davis available on the near sideline. Is this a chance? Oh, Bartle secure hands marked by Van Can, able to get it. Zone defense from Phoenix. You love to see it. Oh, off the hands of Main Davis. Phoenix with a shot. Castleton to pick up and initiate.
She's been throwing a lot of hucks up. Wonder if we're going to see another one. Oh, and great grab by Flik.
Oh, gets a big bite from the defense. Is it secure? Well, oh, there's hands to it, but it's not going to be able to come down in a Phoenix possession. The turn goes back. Ramia to go to the disc to pick up. Zone defense, they've got the wind. It's blustering a little bit. It's going to be hard to play to. Westerland cutting into the space, pushing to the high side. Naylor can't get to it, so that's a turn. Phoenix with a shot here. Castro Rios to pick up and initiate now in the Phoenix offensive half. Big fake gets the reset through. That's McIntosh with it. And around. Castro Rios, Castleton there as support, puts a big shot up. Looking for Van Can. Oh, right through the smallest of windows. She was in a great position. Such a good cut, good separation. So explosive in the end zone, but not able to be rewarded in the way that she deserves. It's Bartle with the disc, facing down that zone again. Ramia cutting through, but the window's closed. It has to go high. Naylor underneath it. No.
I think I saw McIntosh kind of hungry for a potential Callahan there, but overread the disc. Instead, we have Ooh, that was close. A turn now, but that was a great take by Naylor. Castros Rios looking downfield. She's been really working that around backhand huck.
That's why we stretch, folks. McIntosh with a little half split slide, doing the Van Dam to retain position. Great upline cut, getting the separation from Westerland. Back to Castro Rios. The pace is there for the Phoenix. Castleton pushing the near sideline. Is that out? That's Pullock with the disc, wanting to finish, but it's a little bit wobbly. Who's underneath it? Naylor shutting it down.
Unfortunately, that's not the first time Pullock has maybe released the disc too fast. If she just takes an extra half a second to make sure she's using her wrist, she's been great at receiving the disc. So I just want to see her extend that to the next throw as well. But the movement from Phoenix though is looking confident.
Absolutely. Ramia manages to chip through, crashing through the zone this time. They can't collapse those windows in time. There's not a lot developing for them though. It's a lot of handler resets here. Main Davis gets it by way of Naylor and returns. Some give-go. Back to Ramia, but it's down on the turf.
I think, it was a bit of an iffy call, but it's quickly resolved and down. It's called for a turnover.
Castleton engages the center field to open up a channel on the near sideline. Pullock with another chance to close it out.
Van Can almost had that point, but Pullock taking her time, which, as I said, I kind of want her to make sure she's sure about her throws.
A little bit stranded. Same team, ladies.
You hate to see that.
Oh.
Two strong receivers there, both of them under the disc, but just fighting for Allen and Van Can. But that was as close as it can get, really. Sometimes it can be really helpful to be calling, whether it's your disc or their disc. You know, a mine or a yours can be useful. But yeah, my heart was in my heart was in my mouth for that one. Oh, and that disc trailing away from either intended potential receiver there. A short field. Castros Rios picking up the disc. She's been using this left-hand side corner a lot. We'll see if people are going to cut into that space for her. We have McIntosh, been a strong, explosive cutter. Well covered by the Zodiac team.
Oh. What a pull through. A good find by Castro Rios to an aggressive cut from McIntosh in that far front corner. Keeps them in it. It's a 4-point game at the moment. Phoenix are firing back.
That was great defense by Zodiac. I think that was someone else picking up McIntosh as she cut, so that was an excellent switch. It wasn't quite enough, but that kind of awareness is going, in the long run, is going to pay off. So Phoenix, not willing to roll over. They are playing really well in this last quarter of the game, which is nice to see, regardless of the scoreline. Seeing them adapt to what Zodiac is putting up and also fine-tuning their offense. It's good to see. I mean, we're always on the side of impressive Frisbee, and they've definitely been turning it up in these past couple points. Maybe they play best when they're down a couple points, or maybe they play best after the soft cap is gone. But they get a chance to pull now. Castros Rios has been on for quite a few points in a row.
And for good reason. I mean, she's putting in a huge amount of work for the Phoenix side. Really, really consistent throughout the later stages of the game as well. Legs are still firing, still working so hard. We see the hand going up from Verrill for Zodiac to signal the start of the point. Touch and roll. Along the far sideline. Smothered.
To Black.
Like a Waffle House hash brown. Zone defense for Phoenix. Goes to Black, pushing up the far sideline.
McDonald on the disc now. Some shorter players in the front here by Phoenix. Something to consider when you're calling your zone is who is the height in different areas of the field. Lee, throw and go. Oh, too much go, not enough catch.
Yeah, the pressure just starting to build. Phoenix with a shot here.
There is an open dump for Blundell.
Slip from Castro Rios. Uncharacteristic is going to give the disc back to Zodiac.
Two receivers potentially open, and a very floaty huck. Blundell under it.
Oh, nearly tips it into the hands of Isabella Sia, but able to get the turn there.
A zone from Zodiac here. Blundell looking around. Ooh, very close to the sideline there.
Finds Hamlin on that near sideline.
Beryl doing a good job of keeping the downfield and the disc in her vision.
Windley has it now. Blundell providing support, pushing the far sideline straight to the hands of Lee, and it's a turnover. An opportunity to close out the game here. Quick reset back. No yards gained, but a better position on the field for Beryl.
This is a tough position for Phoenix. Do they go to match? Do they keep their zone? They've managed to turn it there, but sometimes that can be the position on the field where you want to call a match, and if that isn't communicated throughout the whole team.
I think staying with the zone's a good call. If it ain't broke, don't Phoenix. Hamlin with the disc on the near sideline.
And Castro-Rios back to the middle. Oh, yes, just such, yeah, lots of experience behind those throws. It's intimidating to play against. Nice flow. Del Pachitra, who's very consistently open.
Wide open resets. Again, Castro-Rios not being pressured enough by the zone defense to not be just available to keep the disc moving. A big run through by Lee.
Lee predicting that disc from a mile away. Excellent D, 2 hands.
That's that veteran experience coming into play there. Beryl with a slow approach. Not a lot developing in the downfield just yet. Focusing on handler movement to keep things going. Lee has it now. Veryl's there as a support.
They have a nice job for the handler. Handler moved back, which pulled the defender back, which opened up that shot.
Tsang with the disc. Goes to Beryl with a one-hand take. Around the zone.
Nice,
finds Lee.
Nice release point there by Beryl. Oh, and Del Pachitra just read that like a book.
So good on the defensive side of the disc as well as the offensive. I'm just doing so much work for the Phoenix side as well.
Apparently that D was so good it took her laces off. That is unfortunate timing, needing to do her laces up kind of in the middle of the open space where Phoenix is now in D. Hopefully she stands up and finds her position in the zone. Beryl with the big huck.
Laser show. Oh, through contact. Can't do it. I think Castro-Rios just double checking to see whether or not that contact had an impact or not against Lee.
Good consideration there by Castro-Rios. Nahe to Hamlin. Hamlin's got a sliver of space down the line. Trying to move that mark. Excellent job.
Straight through the zone. It's high. Windley with one take. Manages to keep it alive. Continues working the far sideline. Oh, Del Pachitra, second attempt. Puts it, it blades over a little bit too early for McDonald.
That was a nice attempt, a good look, but it was just too zippy. It was just coming, you know, it was hitting McDonald's ankles instead of her hands. But they've managed to work it all the way into the Zodiac end zone, so the offense is getting the distance at least. And a swing goes up. No players here on this close side to continue it to. Great grab by Beryl. She's got really safe hands.
Goes through to Black, gets a big fake to shift the zone, opens up a channel, but not able to capitalize. Instead decides on a short reset back into the handler set. Lee has it now, supported by Beryl.
Some of these lower side players are indicating they're free if that over-the-top shot was to go up. I haven't seen a lot of hammers in this game. The wind has calmed down a little bit. The field has also dried up a lot since the first game. The dew has gone for the morning.
Oh, a little bit underthrow. Pressure from Blundell means Tsang can't get that disc.
You're obviously not happy with that. She's looking to get it back. It could potentially be her D.
Hamlin out of nowhere. Whoo!
Manages to hold on to that even as it potentially bounces off her chest. But that came down quickly. That was a good recognition at the last second there.
Yeah,
also kind of staring into the wind, and sorry, into the sun as well.
Yeah, a hard disc to take, I think, at any point, but great work by the Phoenix. I mean, they're back within 3.
That's another break by Phoenix. Yeah, they're really, their momentum, as we talked about earlier, is quite thoroughly in their favor at the moment. Yeah, their zone has been working. maybe it's Zodiac getting a bit too loose with their throws, a bit overconfident, and there have been a couple turns as it's been swung. But yeah, the zone's been working, so I anticipate Phoenix will be throwing a zone again. But also, we're in the very last minutes of the game, and so people, they're going to be a little bit. The decision-making process isn't going to be as easy as it was at the start of the game. These close-up on the scores have been fun, getting to see the expressions of relief. Leishman here, the coach for the Phoenix side. A lot of movement in trying to display what he wants from his team. Phoenix still have a bit of ways to go if they want to take this game out. So what would you be wanting? If you were a coach, what would you be telling the Zodiac O-line right now?
A little bit more active in the midfield, I think. We've seen Zodiac do some really great handler movement, keeping great possession. But I think because the rest of the downfield players recognize that, and they're kind of trusting the handlers to initiate something, it means that the midfield stays stagnant for that extra second longer, and it means that when the handlers are in a great position to do something with it, the cuts are starting to develop as opposed to already being partway through. So have the downfielders maybe just grind out that little bit extra, working hard, but we are going to see another defensive turn. I think that was Hamlin again getting a touch there.
Yes, not giving anything away. Unfortunately, that swing was just way too high into the wind.
Up and up, using the high side. Del Pachitra pulls it down. What a take. Phoenix are back within 2. I mean, you were not kidding about them playing their best game in overtime. So, wow, Phoenix, what a performance so far. Back within 2. Zodiac have sent out their final line, I think like 5 points in a row at this point. Just not able to secure it. So Phoenix doing such a good job on defense here. Not just in generating the turns, but capitalizing on it. I mean, you've got a player like Castro Rios who's just going to put it every single time. Safe hands in Del Pachitra there to pull that one down. Really, really great.
Phoenix now also showing that their quick turns are successful. Something that they struggled with. They've decided not to change and instead do a slow start. They've been quite often picking the disc up quickly, but now they're actually finding their receivers. So a great adjustment by them. We see some of the diversity in our sideline here on screen right now. A great opportunity, a great day out for spectators and dogs as well. All right,
but of course, the real big dogs are out on this Phoenix defensive line. They are hungry for the biscuit. So we're going to see a nice big defensive play here. Zodiac again having sent out an offensive line, just not able to capitalize on it. There's just those tiny margins that Phoenix are getting in the way of. Castleton with the disc. The wind at their back. What are Phoenix going to do?
Last couple points, I think the turn has been on the swing. So that mark, potentially the Phoenix mark, has been the reason that it's been turning over.
A little bit of roll, but it's getting carried towards the near sideline. An opportunity to set a sideline trap might be helpful for Phoenix here. We are seeing a zone defense.
Bartle coming and bringing the disc in.
No, it is match defense.
Oh, there was a mismatch. An unmarked player, but not recognized by Bartle. Instead to Jeroen. Jeroen, a very good. Jeroen able to recognize what is and isn't open. Oh, unfortunately, Zia just off her wrist, I think even. But I was going to say, Jeroen, a very patient thrower. Instead, we have a tight mark, but Castleton just not able to reach that swing. So perhaps a little too quick on that swing.
Zodiac hoping for a fast break. Bartle, lots of movement. That's going to do it. And that is Isabella Zia for the score as Zodiac go 13 over a very, very impressive and hard-working Phoenix. Definitely dominant throughout the second half, I would say. Phoenix putting on 7 to Zodiac's 6. So really, really great work by both sides, but it is going to be Zodiac women's team from Auckland who walk away with the win. What a fantastic performance by both these teams. They've got a lot to be proud of and a lot to carry on throughout the rest of the tournament. But speaking of the rest of the tournament, we're going to take a little bit of a break here at Hagley Park North, Bob Dean's Fields in Ōtautahi, Christchurch, from the team here at ULTI.TV. We will be back reasonably shortly to continue the coverage of the 2026 Division 2 Ultimate Championships. My name is Blair Monroe.
My name is Rachel Siahani Royal.
Thank you so much for watching. Be back soon.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Oh my goodness! That is unbelievable! And great as it is, and made for it!
That was absolutely incredible. ULTI.TV